Don't change that dial. It's time for your go-to source for all things entertainment and caffeinated. Now give it up and welcome to the stage, Eva and DJ!
I'm Eva Crowe, and this is the Inks and Lattes podcast, where we're spilling the ink and dishing out drinks. So DJ is going to be back with me next week, but today I am once again joined by special guest co-host, CCC founder, Chris Corvan.
Yay! We're both members of the Creative Coffee Cafe Discord network. It's an amazing place where creatives can come together, chill, bounce ideas, and get support from their fellow creatives. It is an awesome community, and I love everyone in there so damn much. And now we're going to feature some work from our talented members.
Yes, so today we're here to remind you of an exciting new opportunity for the writers out there. The first CCC anthology is open for submissions. You have a couple more weeks to get your submissions in. So I believe it's through the end of the year. You need to get those in ASAP. Hear ye, the monsters are calling. The dead have their stories to tell. The old gods are rising. The forgotten world is crowding in. Are you brave enough to share their stories? Will you hold a candle to the pagan world and share with us those tales time should have forgotten?
The Creative Coffee Cafe debut anthology, Pagan, Horrors of the Forgotten World, is open to submissions through the end of the year. Guidelines can be found on Instagram and Threads at the Grim Fen Smith and Creative Coffee Cafe. So, my storytellers, send your stories from 7,000 words to 40,000 words to members at creativecoffeecafe.com. And just a quick reminder of some other amazing CCC-related things. Aster at Aster's Mystic Bedhead has a shop on coffee. Check out Aster's tiny art and snag your own adorable, one-of-a-kind piece of Aster's tiny art.
They're so cute. And Luna Wolf Wyoming Designs has all the amazing tumblers, mugs, stemless wine tumblers. They offer pre-made designs that are incredible, and they also accept custom orders. Great Christmas gift ideas, everybody. And owner and creator Vicky has put out that special Dripping Creativity tumbler, and 15% of the sales on those go back into the Creative Coffee Cafe.
Are you looking for a podcast that dives into the strange, the mysterious, and the downright bizarre? Check out Niche Knowledge and Nonsense with lifelong friends Bailey Brain Vomit and Ethan Dixon. Every other Monday, they swap mind-bending stories like the Philip Experiment, real gnome sightings, which is an actual thing that Ethan goes into. It's worth checking out just for that one. And 500,000 abandoned tunnels beneath America. Whether it's cryptids, cryonics, or things that go bump in the night, these two bring the weird right to you. Catch new episodes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Head to linktree/NKNpod to dive in. All the links can be found in the description below.
So, time for our topic of the week. Aliens. Real?
Yes.
Not real.
Thoughts,
Chris?
Let's kind of break this down as a follow-up part 2 to a previous thing when we were talking about cryptids is really where this one's coming from. and I mean, like, you know, if we're going to dive into the topic here, just flat out, yes, I think aliens are real. No, I don't think that they're like we see in the movies. I don't. I mean, is it possible? For sure, without a doubt. But like, really, we're going to find aliens. Is it going to be like microbes and like shit like that that's like developing and building and all of that? But like spacefaring technology-based civilizations, probably nowhere near us if they do exist. They're going to be way the hell out there and of no interest to come and see us at any point.
Interesting. I knew that was going to be an interesting one to discuss with you, because I am that girl who believes in aliens, believes that they have visited. I believe that there are numerous types of aliens out there. Mass Effect aliens, all the aliens, not specifically those species, but wouldn't that be nice if there were Turians out there?
I was just about to say, you just want Turians. Let's not, beat around the bush here. You just want to fuck a Turian.
I just want Garrus to be real. even though it is said that they were like the first aliens that invaded Earth.
Oh yeah.
But I am that person though. I do believe in aliens fully. Like there was a thing here in the last year or two. I forget exactly when because time means nothing to me anymore. But there was a thing here not that long ago where the government, the US government was like, "Hey, you guys, aliens are real." And people all over the world were like, that's crazy that the government just came out and said that. Like, why are Americans not losing their minds? And we were like, yeah, we know. We don't need you guys to tell us. We fucking know they're real. Like, you guys telling us means nothing. Means nothing. We've known you've been lying this whole time, just ignoring aliens. So yeah, like when they said that, we were like, cool. Thanks, government. Thanks for letting us know.
See, like to me, when it comes to them coming out and saying that stuff and showing all that stuff, it's like the real conspiracy to me is what are they trying to make sure people are not looking at? Because the concept of an alien conspiracy is so strong. It is the best blanket that any government secret shit going on can use in their defense of, oh, no, it's not aliens at all, when really it's not. It's actually this other thing, but everyone is so unbelievably convinced it's aliens that it's like, it's the perfect smokescreen to just say, oh, no, not aliens. We would never. No, you know, like, think about it. Like, what are people going to latch onto? The concept of aliens that the government are trying to hide or some secret shit that the government is trying to do. People are going to go for the aliens every time because it's more fantastical.
So to play devil's advocate, what is your opinion then on all of these claims all over the world, not just America, of crazy shit that like it can't all be the government. It can't all be government all over the world.
No. It can literally and like that's the biggest thing is it can be so many things because we don't have enough evidence to even make a proper hypothesis on what it could be. We say aliens because that is the closest thing our brain would register as, but it could be anything. It could actually just be the fact that, you know, in that one area, the ozone is actually depleting and refracting the light differently. Like, there are so many potential options for what it could be. Could it be aliens? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Would I be shocked? No. I'd be all for it. Hey, aliens, awesome. That's great. But at the same time, there's not enough evidence. What evidence do we really have besides what people see, which we already know people's minds are not trustworthy in any way, shape, or form. You can believe something 150%, doesn't make it true. Doesn't make it what happened even. Like, people have, like, to put it in context, both my little sisters swear that they saw, after our rabbit died, its soul floating up into the sky.
I believe them. I just want that stated.
Both of them completely swear that it happened that way.
And I believe
really, it was a dream one of them had and told the other one, which then normalized in the brain and became a reality.
Was it though?
It was. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it.
But can you prove it?
You know what? It'd be easier to prove that because it has been proven before that. Oh, yes. Are you kidding me? Memory implantation is a more provable thing than aliens. All right. You can implant a memory in somebody's brain. That's not the Berenstain Bears. Okay. The Mandela effect. All of this stuff is a proven fact now. Okay, which is more provable than aliens. So
I know for a fact that it was not Berenstain Bears.
See?
I don't care what anyone says.
This is what I'm saying. No, because you know what it really was?
I felt
it was
that way
all the
before we
teachers.
even knew what the Mandela effect was.
It was all the teachers reading those books, saying it incorrectly.
No, bro.
Yes,
No.
Because as a child,
That's
you were not
conspiracy
fully
theory
reading
right there.
the title.
The whole Mandela effect theory. That's a fucking crazy one there.
And it's just like, And again, it boils down to the fact that human brains are not trustworthy at all. That's my point.
Right.
Can aliens exist?
That's a fair point.
100%. And there's tons of shit floating out there that we can't explain. UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them. Lots of shit that happens. Totally unexplainable. And, you know, when we get proper actual non-fuzzy photos and things that can actually be touched and seen, then we can discuss it. But for now, we're still looking at the same picture of Bigfoot. Like, come on.
And we know how you feel about Bigfoot.
Exactly. This is my point. So
see, and I think I am very much one of those people that, like, I want to believe. I am very much that person. It's hard for me because I look at things from a very naturally a skeptical point of view. It doesn't sound like that because I believe in a lot of weird shit, but it's kind of on the flip side where, like, you say, you know, there's no proof of it. I'm like, yeah, but there's no proof of not that as well. Like the whole thing with even like ghosts and shit like that, fully believe in ghosts. 100% fully. I will never be convinced otherwise. Just because I haven't physically seen a, like, quote, ghosty with my eyes, 100% believe it. Because there are too many things that don't add up. And we can call it whatever we want. Like you said, you know, it can be, there's so many things it could be. But it's just one of those things that I don't know. It's weird for me. I just cannot bring myself to believe. And this is coming from a person who is not at all spiritual, or not at all religious, I should say. I am a spiritual person. I am not at all a religious person. I don't follow any organized religion. I find it insanity to think that there are not other intelligent life forms out there. I find it incredibly egotistical to think that we're the only ones. That's just my opinion on it. Like, I don't understand how we can be the only intelligent beings in that regard. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe it. Because, and it also, I think a lot of times it plays into, like, whether or not you believe in organized religion and stuff like that, and where you believe the, you know, the creator and all of those things. But that's a whole other podcast we don't have time to get into. But that's kind of always been one of my main things is I'm like, we can't be the only ones. We cannot be the only form of intelligent life out there. We know so little about space and the cosmos and all of those things. So I can't bring myself to be like, nah, we're the only ones. I just can't do it. You know what I mean? I just
definitely
can't.
Not the only ones. It's just, yeah, it's a very, it's a tricky thing because, again, we have never been outside of our own galaxy. Hell, we haven't even seen our whole galaxy. So you can't say without a doubt that there is not intelligent life out there. I think plausibly, yeah, sure. But then we go into that whole, I don't see why they would even give a shit about us. Like, really, I don't.
Right.
Would you?
And I guess
it
boils down to a lot of different things. I mean, there are people that believe that we come from aliens, that we're like some sick little experiment for funsies, or maybe just even for funsies. I mean, all the conspiracy theories out there, you know, the Matrix and all those things, the simulation theories and all that stuff, which is wild as well. Like, my mind can't even process that concept. So I just don't even like to think about the possibility of that. I like hearing about it, but I don't like thinking about it. But yeah, I guess it's just like there's those people that are like, well, how did the pyramids get here? You know, there's those people, and you're like, they talk about these beings like it's just, I don't know, man. It's so wild how so many things go back so far, and like the oh my God, why can't I think of the word that I want to use? The fucking like hieroglyphics and stuff like that, like things that ancient people were depicting that seem very alien, and things that are very on par with what people see today. So it's like, it's not even like you can dismiss the fact that, like, when you see old depictions from all these ancient cultures of things that look very similar to what we think of as flying saucers, your typical flying saucers. They didn't have that technology then for it to be the government. So like what were they seeing and depicting? You know what I mean? So it is just, there is that weird level of like, what was that? Or what was that? I don't know. It literally mind fucks me if I think about it too hard. If I'm being perfectly honest.
Well, and I think that kind of boils down to one of the biggest issues when it comes to all of this stuff is people overthink entirely too much.
Oh, for sure. That is my life.
Especially when it comes
Chris.
to this. I know, but it's like, you see these things. My cat is meowing. I don't know if you can hear her, but it's like, what could this be? What could this be? Well, it's literally, they were really bad at drawing back then. Like art, not really their biggest thing. Let's be honest here. They really weren't. So that round thing in there, it probably just a cloud because it was raining. Like there's so many simpler things that it could be, but we are always craving more. Just as like it goes into the concept.
That's human nature.
Exactly. Religion, all of that stuff. We want to believe in something that has
bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. That understands more than we do, that can explain more than we do. So we find things to explain it. And a lot of the times we're just overanalyzing something that probably was really nothing, And
I just want to state too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
I can't remember now. I lost it, so you might as well go.
So sorry. It's my ADHD chiming in. Yeah, it's fuck. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Perfect. You know what? That's a good segue. You'll come back to it.
Yes, we'll come back to it. Do we want to move on to pick of the week? Because
yes.
Let's just get on there.
So we decided kind of last minute that we're going to discuss alien themed films, and I kind of went a little bit of a different way than most people would probably expect from an alien themed film. So my pick of the week is Event Horizon, which you had said that you haven't actually seen yet.
I have not.
Okay, so Event Horizon was released in 1997. It has, oh God, I didn't see. I should have pulled up the cast because it has an amazing cast. So Event Horizon was a film released in 1997, which stars Laurence Fishburne, Sam Neill, and Kathleen Quinlan, amongst others. But so you have your Matrix, you have your Jurassic Park. all rolled into one. The overall premise of the film itself is Event Horizon is overshadowed by more mainstream alien-themed films but its depiction of cosmic horror, interdimensional entities, and psychological unraveling of the crew is so unique when it comes to the thoughts of alien contact. And that's every aspect of that is pretty much, what my genre is. The actual story. So in the year 2047, it's not even that far away, a group of astronauts I know, right? A group of astronauts are sent to investigate and salvage the long-lost ship Event Horizon. The ship mysteriously disappeared 7 years ago on its maiden voyage, and with its return comes even more mystery as the crew of the Lewis and Clark discover the real truth behind its disappearance and something even more terrifying. Now, before we get further into it, this is a very divisive movie when it comes to things because it got played around a lot with before release by everyone involved, like studios and all of that. So the actual story and what ended up being released are slightly different, but I still love this film so much. It is the right amount of like body horror and psychological shit happening. It's amazing. So, when you think of alien movies, you imagine spaceships, extraterrestrial beings, and intergalactic battles. But what if the alien presence wasn't a physical creature, but an incomprehensible force from another dimension? Event Horizon takes us beyond the stars and straight into the depths of terror, where humanity attempts to conquer space, leads to an encounter with something far worse. And Sam Neill is kind of the bad guy. Spoiler alert for a very old movie, but is amazing. So the film basically starts out with the Lewis and Clark. The ship is investigating the lost ship, the Event Horizon, near Neptune. The Event Horizon itself is equipped with this like experimental gravity drive, which basically folds space and time together. Your standard MacGuffin when it comes to space travel. But when it happens, it accidentally opens a portal to another dimension, a place where some crew members describe as hell. And as the crew explores the ship, they are haunted by hallucination and violence, and are influenced by this force from the other side.
It sounds wild. I can't believe I've never seen it.
You need to watch it. It's something, man. It's something. So yeah, like the alien itself isn't a physical creature, but it's this kind of dimension that they connect to, and it's so Lovecraftian in that way. Like a lot of the scenes that happen and everything just really get into that kind of Lovecraftian eldritch feel to it, and like the madness that kind of overcomes them, and just what happens is so just especially at that age, because I mean shit, I was a teenager and it was like, this is the most amazing thing I have ever seen.
Yeah, I'm honestly shocked I haven't seen it, because I love shit like that. So like, I don't know if that one just slid under my radar or what happened with that, or maybe it was just the name of it didn't like grab me, because I didn't really look. I didn't know what it was, because I've heard of the film, but I've just never. It never struck me that would be what it was about for some reason. I don't know why.
It is
But I
definitely
do love
one,
stuff like that.
Yeah, I would so suggest finding if it's streaming down there. I don't know the states, Netflix and all that shit. So, but yeah, no, it like there's symbology wise, there's a whole bunch that kind of talks about humanity's hubris and conquering space and pushing scientific boundaries and all of that, and why you shouldn't do it if you don't know what you're doing. And like just how the creatures or whatever is on this other side are influencing and affecting the crew is just absolutely, oh, it's so good. Even if people, even if there's such issues with the script and all of that, and what should have been and what was, even what is just, it's still a lot of fun. I highly suggest watching this one, just because it gives new meaning to an alien movie, because most times, especially in space, it's like you don't physically see what the alien looks like in this film, but you see the effects of what it can do. And that is kind of more terrifying when it comes down to it, because it's like you don't know what you're facing, because what you're facing is constantly changing based on who it's around, and and how that affects people. And Sam Neill is amazing. We love Dr. Grant, and he does a fantastic job in this movie. And Laurence Fishburne it's Laurence Fishburne. The dude is awesome in everything he does, and he does a fantastic job in this film. So without a doubt, it is one you need to do, because it doesn't rely on traditional alien tropes. Instead, it explores alienness through psychological and a dimensional lens filled with horror. It's a mix of sci-fi and horror. It's kind of like inspired. You can see how things like Sunshine and Dead Space really got its inspiration from it. Just because, and it was a box office disappointment, but it gained such a cult status that people like me are still talking about it to this day. Apparently, like, the original cut of the film was significantly gorier and darker, but a lot of it was lost due to the studio interference. And some fans speculate that the alien dimension isn't just hell, but a place of pure chaos, akin to the void described in Lovecraftian's The Call of Cthulhu. So, Yeah, no, it's you got to check it out, dude.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out because it sounds right up my alley. So I will
Without
put
a
it on the
doubt.
list. Um, so I guess I'll get into my pick. I went the opposite way. Shocker. Um, which which is cool. That works out. My pick for one of my favorite alien themed films is Signs with
Mhm.
Mel Gibson, Mad Mel. Love it. I love that movie. I don't care what people say about M. Night Shyamalan. It's some of his stuff, yeah, hit or miss, but I tend to really enjoy the way that he tells stories. There are a few that I'm not crazy about, but I love Signs. I love that movie for its simplicity on a surface level. Um, for anyone that doesn't know what Signs is, I don't know how you wouldn't have seen it, but maybe you haven't. I don't know. It came out in I believe 2002. Yeah, 2002, that's right. Um, it is a movie about a alien invasion that takes place, and it focuses on this family dynamic of Mel Gibson as the father. Joaquin Phoenix, love Joaquin Phoenix, he's so good. The cast is really great in the film. Um, and then one of the Culkins is in it as well. I think it's
Roy.
Rory
Yeah.
Culkin, one of his early movies. Yeah, so that's the son, and then there's a daughter as well. Um, they live on this farm in, I think, rural Pennsylvania, and they start to notice these crop circles essentially. Which crop circles, I can't believe we didn't touch on crop circles, but there's a lot of theories with crop circles, obviously, and a lot of hoax stuff and all of that stuff. But the film focuses on this family. The son is a asthmatic, the daughter is kind of a neurotic little thing. She like doesn't she's like weird about a lot of little things. Um, but basically it's just them kind of trying to survive this looming alien invasion. And there's so many good moments in that film. It's funny, it is spooky, it is unnerving at times. I would never forget the first time I watched that movie, and the first time that you see the aliens, because like in your film, like you said, it's not the typical alien. In Signs, it is very much a alien being type thing that kind of charges the fear in the movie. um I will never forget that scene though, where Merrill, the brother, Joaquin Phoenix, Mel Gibson's brother, the kid's uncle, is watching the TV. He's like in the closet watching TV because he doesn't want the kids, Mel Gibson's character doesn't want the kids like watching the news and seeing all this shit about like quote aliens and all this garbage, you know. And that moment where they show the footage on the news, do you remember that?
Yes.
And it's like a child's birthday party that someone was filming, and then they see something outside, and then you get that clip of like the alien creature like walking by, and it frees. I will never forget that moment and being like, oh no. It is creepy. It's like the best kind of just like straightforward creepy alien shit. You know what I mean? Like they have like these long limbs and they're just creepy as fuck. They're not like your little gray aliens. They're actually very creepy and like menacing looking. And I just love that moment when you first see them and you're like, oh no. And there's like a moment where they hear them like on the roof. Oh, and that the movie has such great little moments of comedy. I just want to add in. Like
Oh
Mel
yes.
Gibson's character is so good in it. Like I love for all the things that Mel Gibson is, he is a fantastic actor. And him and Joaquin Phoenix have this really great dynamic of like he's the older brother with the kids and his wife had passed away and like the brother kind of lives there with them and he's kind of the fuck up of the family, you know. They have this really great dynamic, but there's so many funny little moments with them. And like the part where the kids like hear about the aliens and they're all freaked out, they've seen them, and they make the like um aluminum foil hats
Yeah.
where like Mel Gibson walks in and the brother and the son and the daughter are all sitting there reading a book about aliens wearing like aluminum foil hats. They're like, so the aliens can't read our minds.
I mean,
God
I would
damn
too,
it.
really.
Right. And it's such a great movie because it's so just it seems very like point blank this is a movie about alien invasion, but it also has kind of religious connotations in a way, which as I've said before, I'm not a religious person, but I can appreciate that kind of stuff in the right way, in the right circumstances and stuff, you know. Um, and it does kind of have some religious undertones where the film essentially portrays certain aspects in their lives that in a lot of ways could be seen as like the absence of God, like his wife dying tragically, and it kind of shakes Mel Gibson's foundation of his religion. Because I think he's an ex-pastor. I think he was a
Yeah.
pastor previously before the wife died. And it just like rocks him to his core, you know, and makes him question his entire being and religion. And it makes him just question everything because he's basically has that mentality of like, well, where is God? You know, like I see no proof of God. And so it has that really great kind of undertone to it. Um, and with the son being asthmatic and stuff like that, and like it's something it's this debilitating thing that he deals with throughout the whole film, where it's this really great aspect that like the asthma is clearly a problem. You know, when the aliens are coming and they're trying to get into the house and the kid can't find his inhaler. And as an asthmatic, I get that fear. I am an asthmatic. And it turns out to be one of the few things that like actually saves that kid's life. So it's very the film has a lot of themes of like all of the little signs in life and coincidences of everyday life could possibly actually be the work of a divine presence as kind of the underlying theme if you dig that deeply into it. You know what I mean? You could for a long time, be honest, I just watched that film and was like, it's an alien movie and it's good and it's good entertainment and it's creepy and it's, you know, it's got all the things I love. But there is a lot of like underlying tones to that film that just make it really interesting if you actually kind of give it some extra thought, you know, and can kind of see what he was really kind of trying to depict with those characters. They're really great characters, honestly. They're really well crafted characters.
Oh, for sure, and like even the story itself, because like with those underpinning tones there, like it's actually it's reinforcing his faith through
Mm-hmm.
a series of non-connected events that actually all tie in together, and that was one of the strongest things about the script itself and what made it so good. It's
Mm-hmm.
all of these little individual things, such as, you know, how the wife died, what the wife said when she died,
Yes, that's a big part of it.
the water aspect from the daughter, which originally
Mm-hmm.
you're like, what the hell is wrong with this kid? But it's like, oh no, this actually makes sense and why it's being introduced here. Like every part was very nicely connected
It is
together at
very
the end.
clever. Yeah, it's a very
Yes.
clever movie in that regard where, like you said, the part with the brother Merrill, spoiler, all the spoilers obviously, but he was like a minor league baseball player previously, and there's like a joke made in the film that he had the minor league record for like most strikeouts, and that's why he never went pro and all this, and he says something to the extent of it felt wrong not to swing. And when the wife passes, she says, tell Meryl, swing away. And it's one of those things where, like, I remember distinctly in the film, you hear that. And when Mel Gibson is talking about it, he says, like, it didn't mean anything. It was a random impulse in her brain firing at the moment she was dying. You know, it didn't mean shit. And then at the end, it does. It comes back full circle. And it just kind of drives home that point of, like, all these little signs that kind of seem like coincidences and are maybe not coincidences. And it's just very interesting. It's a very clever film, which that's why I love his films because I feel like most of them have those kind of things that they seem like one thing at a surface level, but then they have a lot of really great like sub themes that you really don't think about initially in a lot of his films. So yeah, I'm a
Definitely.
fan of him and that film in general. I watch that movie probably at least once a year. I'll throw it on because it's funny. It's funny. It's creepy. The aliens still freak me out. The part where it sticks its hand under the door, that part freaks me out to this day. It's just good. It's like just a good, it's almost a comfort movie for me as well because of the time that it came out. 2002, I would have been in high school, and yeah, in high school, middle school. But it was just a really clever film, and it's good fun. If you like Mel Gibson, if you like Joaquin Phoenix, even little Rory Culkin, little baby Rory Culkin, it's just a really great film, and it's one of my favorite alien films that is just very straightforward in that regard, where you get the aliens, they're creepy, they want to hurt you. How do we survive? That's what it is, point blank on the surface. And it's good fun.
It is, without a doubt. It's definitely one that I have rewatched several times myself. It has a lot of great moments, both in the horror aspect, but also in the storytelling and character development. I mean, you know, if there's one thing that Shyamalan is really good at, it's crafting these characters that seem really boring at the start, and it's not until you kind of really pay attention to the character development that you see what's underneath them all. Because I mean, especially for like the first act of that film is a very slow start. It's kind of grueling,
and that's
in some
kind of
aspects.
my jam too. Yeah, that is kind of my jam though. Like if someone's like movie's boring and slow, I'm like, yes, yes, I want that, because I like that slow build. But I do think that one has like just enough, like the part where you see he goes out to the cornfield and just sees that little glimpse, and you're like, ooh, no, no, sir. And hearing them on the roof. Hearing them on the roof is one of my favorite scenes, because they think it's like the local like hooligans. I think it's like the local redneck kids like causing a ruckus. And you remember that scene? He's like, we gotta yell like we're super pissed off. And he's like, yeah, I want you to curse. And Mel Gibson's like, it sounds unnatural when I curse. I'm not good at it. And they start running around the house screaming like, we're gonna beat your ass, because they think it's like the neighbor kids. And really, it's a horrifying alien creeping around on your roof, trying to decide how to get in and all this.
Oh, it's a fantastic flick. I absolutely, it's a great choice.
Yeah, well, they're both good choices. Yeah, both good films to watch if you guys haven't seen those films for however. I mean, I've never seen Event Horizon, so I'm sure it's possible there's people out there that haven't seen Signs as well.
Definitely. Okay, I think we should probably wrap it up for this week, since again I think we're pushing the 40-minute mark again.
Whoops.
I was thinking, because I do all the editing for all these, right? And I think for some reason, when you are with me, you swear way more than when you are with DJ.
Do I?
You do, because I rarely hear you drop F-bombs around DJ. And you get around me, and you're dropping fucks left, right, and center. Like, I'm just saying.
I feel like that's your fault, not mine.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a bad influence here. Because now I have to rate the show as explicit because of all the F-bombs we drop.
That makes me a little bit happy, I'm not going to lie. Because that is who I am as a person.
I just think it was kind of funny. I was like, God damn, that's a lot of F-bombs in this one. Huh.
You're over there making tally marks. You're like, and another.
The drinking
You're like,
game
is that
begins.
a swear word? You're like, do we have to mark that as a swear word? Yeah. Sorry.
Thankfully, we don't have to worry about any sponsors, so we're all right. Love it. Okay, well, that is going to wrap up this week's episode of Inks and Lattes. Thank you so much for having me, Eva. It is always a pleasure to hang out with you. This is going to be here every Wednesday as part of the Dripping Creativity podcast, which you can find all the interviews that happen hosted by me, where I sit down and chat with amazing creatives, and we basically do this just talking about them. So make sure to check that out. Subscribe if you haven't. Everything we've talked about today is going to be down in the description below, including our Patreon, which is newly launched, and I don't promote it nearly enough. But if you sign up for the Patreon, you can sign up for free. You can find every episode that we're going to drop, including all the previous ones. Eventually, I'm still uploading those ones, but everything is there for free. And if you subscribe for $5 or more, you get access to a Patreon-only Discord and also the secret shows that I'm producing and putting out there, including the off-the-record segments for all of my interviews, where we sit and chat and talk shit for about 15 minutes, half an hour after the fact. And, it's a lot of fun. So that is it from me. Eva, go ahead and sign us out.
Yep. Well, a lot of good stuff there that I'm very excited about, by the way. I just want to state that. Yeah, so if you guys want more information about the Creative Coffee Cafe and how you can get involved, you can visit the website creativecoffeecafe.com for more info, and the sign up form for the Discord can be found there as well. Get in the Discord, guys. It is fantastic. We have good times in there. And then lastly, if you have any news or projects that you want to share, send it over to submit@creativecoffeecafe.com. And if we can, we will get it on a future episode. So thanks again for tuning in to Inks and Lattes, where we're spilling the ink and dishing out drinks.
Bye.